Big Willie here. So, I was just sitting in my car, which is a Duster, which is something I wanted for a long time. And I have Freddie Mercury in the back. And the reason why I got like Freddie Mercury is I've always been into Queen for a long time. It's funny that I was going to do a different video, but in my mind now, I'm going to do one on this. So yeah, I'd wanted a Duster, and it's good for the family. It's cheap and everything else, and I was my previous car was a small one. It was a wee Picanto, and I'm not into cars. I'm not into the ins and outs of cars or the grandeur of maybe a BMW or that stuff doesn't bother me. What I like is I just want something I can compare. Just now the modern trend is to rent a car, really, so you'll never own the car. I like to own the car. So it will be mine where I don't need to pay and everything else. But a lot of people are going, they feel they need to be out of pocket every month by renting a BMW or an Audi or whatever it is. But again, that doesn't float my boat. So I remember seeing the advert, the Duster, on the one bites the dust, and I said, I like that. I like the shape of it. I like the new one and everything else, and what went on the YouTube and stuff. So anyway, my Picanto, I was driving along in my Picanto, and I was listening to Queen, and the song came on, "Who Wants to Live Forever," and then boom, car exploded, and pulled over to the side. It was done, engine's done. We tried to save it so many times. So that, and then encouraged us to just go and get the Duster, which was not planned for another couple of years anyway. I'm going to see the Queen show later on, so I'm going there in the Duster, which stuff. So yeah, to mark the occasion, I put the sticker in the back, Freddie Mercury, and so I've called the car Freddie. And what's the thing about these cars now is that there's no CD player. I miss the old tape deck or CD player. Now it's like you need one of these things and plugs in. Now, I couldn't afford the level of Duster I wanted. It came in different stages. It came in like Access, which was basically your minimum stuff that you get in the car. Then came the Essential, so of course it gives you the essential stuff. So I was quite happy to get a wee what do you call it, digital radio, and the wee thing for your phone, the wee Bluetooth. So I was quite chuffed with that, and put Queen music on it and stuff like that. Now, Queen, I've always been into Queen. My father was into Queen and introduced me to the group. And I'm astounded how many people there are out there, how many generations out there that never heard of Queen. And I like, maybe it's just YouTubers lying, but I'd like to, in order to get the figures up, but I like to believe that, I like to believe that they are hearing and seeing it for the first time, because it's quite a watch to watch something or somebody appreciating the stuff that you like and seeing how they react to it, because you feel like, oh, you're miles ahead of them, because we live in a world now where, the internet and everything else, everything's over to you, but it really depends on your parents and how they brought you up. If they play their music in their cars, and then they bring up the kids listening to their music and stuff. So it's still a wee bit shocking to see a lot of people not hearing of bands like ABBA and stuff, and Queen, and but I remember going to school that fateful day when we heard that Freddie had died, and the shock of dying of AIDS and stuff, because he was so, he just, this personality just shone right out. But then again, who would have thought the same thing about George Michael when he came out and then said, well, the evidence was all there, but we were too daft to notice with Wham, you know. But no, Queen, Freddie Mercury was such a great guy, and I always used to believe that there was no Queen without Freddie. But then as the movie came out, and I cried at it, and we watched the movie, and Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and I was watching it, I was crying the last 20 minutes. My boy was sitting there crying, and the big guy beside me, he was losing it and stuff like that. And you realised that the Queen wasn't just Freddie, and he always said he was just he was a lead singer, but not the leader of the band. You know, they all contributed, so that reinvested my passion, my love. Because what happens to you is you go in and out of music. You know, you could be listening to one type of music for so long, because music's really there, I think, to help your mental state. When my parents died, I was right into rock and Def Chains and Studs and everything else. And then after so long hanging out with people that liked that somewhat, I discovered 60s music. No, I didn't discover it, I rediscovered 60s music because I grew up with that. And I then 60s and 70s, and then I was going to places called Strawberry Fields, and that was more upbeat and disco beat and everything else. So then I put aside my rock stuff and started listening to older. So you get what I mean when I say music's really there depending on the mood that the frame of mind that you're in. And I'm going, as I say, I was going to the Queen show later on, but Freddie Mercury always, he's sort of my connection to my dad as well. Freddie kind of looks like my dad in a way, even the same thing with his teeth. And my father would always sing, you know, the Great Pretender and stuff, and so I was a wee bit distracted there, just checking on the rest of the family now. You know, he'd always sing that, and he was a great singer. My father was a good singer. So that was always kind of been my connection there. But the music speaks for itself. And so anyway, when the film came out, I felt like I really needed to reinvest. So I bought books, storybooks, and about him, biographies and stuff like that. I believe to this, the Elton John should have been in that movie as well, or they should have done a pair up because the same director of Rocketman and stuff was in it. And I bought the statue of Freddie. It's surprising how little statues there are of Freddie out there to buy. So I bought a copy of the one in Montreal. I bought DVDs, documentaries and everything else, and I just threw myself in there. So now I think about it, you know, for these people that are rediscovering Queen and the group being big and popular again, then we must believe that there is people out there that are hearing it. Because if I think about myself, hearing Queen and getting right into Queen just recently again, you know, rediscovering it, and then, you know, this is stuff I should have done years and years ago, but it's because of this film, it influenced me to go back in to Queen in such a big way. So yeah, it gives you more evidence that these people on YouTube could be genuine and could be listening to this music but because they grew up maybe in a household of rap, or they grew up in a household of, I don't know, classical music or something, or modern music, and they don't listen to anything that's older. And that's the sad thing about world, and I don't just mean music, but I mean movies as well. There's some really great movies out there, even, you know, for the generation that missed out in the 80s. There were good films in the 80s, good films in the 70s. So my thing to use older men and women out there that have you ever watched this is, if you have any kids, look down on them and introduce them to stuff that you love, that you're passionate about. You know, make them sit down and watch the films you love. Make them sit down and listen to the music you love, and open their eyes and open their ears to what's gone on before. You know, and Queen music will always be there. I mean, it's surprising, in America, I believe they used a lot of Queen songs for their anthems at games and stuff, but they never put two and two together. Who sang that? Who's doing that? So you could hear the songs, but you just don't know the group. And when I look at these YouTubers reacting to the Queen concerts, I'm blown away that they're blown away the fact that this group had talent, the singer had talent, and the singer could command an audience. We talk about Live Aid, when most of the fans at the Live Aid concert weren't Queen fans, but they knew, you know, they weren't just there for Queen, and he had them in his power of his hands and stuff. But a lot of people now, it's all manufactured music, it's all manufactured movies. Nobody, you know, it's very rare that a band will stick together because of their passion, or go or do something outside, you know, the company, you know, the manufactured company that does these movies or music, that they have the power. But it's groups and directors out there that will go against the grain, that will make their movies, make their music the way that they want. They'll take the risks, and that's what we need just now, you know. And when you look at groups like Queen, where everybody could sing, well, most people could sing, and most people could write, and they all came together, and that's very unique in this world, you know. And the fact that Freddie was gay and the band didn't matter, especially at a time when we were still looking at people that were gay differently. I didn't. I've always had time for gay people and everything else, but at that time it was still shocking. And then when AIDS came out, it was like, you know, oh, that's a gay man's disease again. Not enough people going in and trying to find out their own facts. So yeah, so just Queen, and that's to say, they are a legend, and they will live on. But the only way that they can live on and anything else in the world is pass on, or to all the fathers and mothers out there, pass on your childhood onto your kids. You know, let them know, let them appreciate the older stuff. Thanks for watching. This is Big Willie, and you can tune in on me on my other channel, DC Vigilante. If you like that sort of stuff, I talk about umpteen kinds of stuff on that channel as well. But this here channel will be my more of a blog thing. Thanks very much for watching. Let us know what you think about Queen in the comments below. Did they have an impact on you like they did for me? You know, the music of Queen will always bring me back, and will always be a big part of my life going forward as well, and an inspiration. So if it happened to you that way, then let us know. Thanks very much. I'll probably make even more videos of Queen, who knows. So catch you later.